Christianity has been the origin of countless theological debates. Even today, the many enigmas of the faith continue to haunt the natural curiosity of humanity. For all its faults or virtues, it's impossible to deny Christianity's plentiful and intriguing history. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at 3 Christian discoveries. Crypt, believed to be Jesus' tomb, opened for the first time in centuries. The story of Jesus' return from death is perhaps one of the most popular biblical stories, but the tomb that may have belonged to him has sat dark, dim, and unopened for centuries until now. Researchers investigating Old Jerusalem uncovered a tomb. Inside the tomb sat a limestone bed, just like the one rumoured to have been used for the body of Christ in those 3 days before he rose again. With the researchers was the Greek Orthodox father, Isidoros Fakitsas, who stated, "We saw where Jesus Christ was laid down. Before, nobody has. We have the history, the tradition. Now we saw with our own eyes the actual burial place of Jesus Christ." Researchers spent 60 hours investigating the tomb. Before they left it, they reinforced its supports to preserve it for the future, yet with little to no intention of returning for the foreseeable years. Before it was resealed, an estimated 50 scientists, researchers, and priests visited the site, and very well might be the only people to see it with their own eyes for decades, if not centuries to come. A shrine has long since been built around the tomb, a holy site known as the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Throughout its existence, many Christians have come to this church to lay their respects. The tomb was first discovered long before our time, when the first Christian Roman emperor, Constantine, ruled in the 4th century AD. In the 7th century, the region was ravaged by Persian forces following the fall of Jerusalem, and later again in the 11th century was destroyed during the conflict with the Muslim caliphs. It had a long, extensive history of being destroyed and rebuilt, though the tomb remained sealed all this time, or as far as we know. Various organizations were chosen to deal with the research of the tomb and its investigation, including the National Geographic Society, the National Technical University of Athens, and the National Geographic Channel. The project as a whole circles around the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. The researchers had no initial intention of heading into the tomb. The shrine had fallen into disrepair. The mortar, columns, and every aspect of the shrine needed to be disassembled and replaced or restored. The researchers worried that there could be a leak within the tomb that led them to unseal it. When the tomb was opened, it was done in a highly specific, careful manner, as archaeologists predicted lifting the entrance would fracture it. According to the assistant professor of civil engineering, Haris Mouzakis, "We had to be very careful. It was not just a tomb we had to open. It was the tomb of Jesus Christ that is a symbol for all of Christianity, and not only for them, but for other religions." Mouzakis claims that the restoration has gone successfully and will preserve the shrine for another 500 years or so. The Nazareth Inscription. The Nazareth Inscription is one of the most recognized Christian relics. It's a Greek marble tablet upon which sits the Nazareth Decree, written supposedly by an unnamed individual of the Caesar line. The decree asserts that tomb robbing or destruction is punishable by the highest means, and was initially dated to the 1st century AD. The Louvre currently possesses the 24 by 15-inch Nazareth inscription. Despite never mentioning Jesus Christ, it has come to be known as a staple Christian relic. Despite its name pertaining to Nazareth, researchers found that it likely originated in Kos, a Greek island. This has shaken the Christian community and put doubt into whether any connection exists between the tablet and Christianity at all. Historians have since suggested that the inscription may have been about the tomb of Nicias, a Greek tyrant, and dated to 20 BCE instead of early AD. Investigations have proven it could have been created any time between 50 BCE and 50 AD. Of its known history, in 1878, the tablet was purchased by Wilhelm Frühner in Nazareth itself. Frühner sent the tablet to Paris. This means that although the tablet was in Nazareth, it likely had not been found there, but rather was sold there, as at the time Jerusalem had a booming relic and antiquities marketplace. The text also refers not to the one Christian God, but to plural gods, and further lessening its likelihood to truly have anything to do with the faith. Another reason why it's unlikely that the Nazareth tablet is from Nazareth is the lack of marble in Jerusalem. If it was made there, the marble would have been imported. However, the Greek dialect archaeologists have found is not fluent, therefore its origins to this day remain a mystery. Evidence Noah's biblical flood happened. Christians, historians, and archaeologists have all yearned to uncover whether there is any truth behind the biblical tale of Noah's Ark for millennia. Now, an archaeologist believes he has uncovered the truth behind the mythical happening, claiming its presence in the Bible was based on a real-life flood. Underwater archaeologist Robert Ballard has stated he and his researchers uncovered the evidence of Noah's Ark near the coast of Turkey in the Black Sea. Originally, the team was searching for lost ancient civilizations beneath sea level. Robert Ballard was one of those responsible for the impeccable discovery of the Titanic. According to Ballard, 12,000 years ago, that part of the world was covered in ice. When that ice began to melt, the sea levels rose significantly, flooding major parts of the world. Students of the University of Columbia suggested that there was only one flood in the Black Sea region. That thousands of years ago, the Black Sea was nothing more than a lone freshwater lake in the midst of hills and meadows, until a terrible flood from the Mediterranean Sea covered those meadows and all that land, expanding the sea level and creating the Black Sea as it is now known. Ballard was taken by the theory and set out to investigate. The team found an ancient shoreline, 400 feet below the sea level, evidence to prove that the Black Sea suffered, at some point in its history, a massive flood. The fossils located near this flooded shoreline revealed it occurred about 7,000 years ago, slotting perfectly with the time frame Christian scholars believe Noah's Ark happened. Ballard's theory is that word of mouth of the terrible flood, which would have been abrupt and unexpected, passed generationally until finally being recorded and added to the Bible. Because many aspects of the biblical tale seem impossible, such as Noah's extraordinary life expectancy of several hundred years, it's considered more probable that the Black Sea flood inspired the story rather than as a direct account of what happened, though it remains a mystery still. Some scholars pose that Noah's Ark might have been further inspired by the ancient epic of Gilgamesh. Eric Klein, a biblical archaeologist, claims the earlier Mesopotamian stories are very similar, where the gods are sending a flood to wipe out humans. There is one man they choose to survive. He builds a boat and brings on animals and lands on a mountain and lives happily ever after. I would argue that it is the same story. It's uncertain whether Noah's Ark, as the Bible records it, actually happened, but Ballard's discovery proves that there were devastating floods in that same period of time, and that people did struggle to keep their communities afloat and alive. Ballard's research found many fragments of antique pottery and a sunken ship. There, the team uncovered a molar and femur bone. The entire wreck was extremely well preserved as a result of the little oxygen in the Black Sea, where life struggles to exist. As such, decay rapidly slows in its depths. Unfortunately, the ship was only dated to about 500 BCE, nowhere near the 7,000-year mark that would signify the right flood. Ballard, however, is determined to keep investigating the region to uncover more evidence and to get to the bottom of the truth. He asserts the deep sea is the largest museum on Earth. Ballard does not believe that Noah's Ark, as we know it, will ever be discovered. If it ever existed, it likely decayed by now. But what can be found is proof that communities lived down in those depths before the sea levels rose. But what are your thoughts on these amazing discoveries? Be sure to let us know in the comment section below and help us grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.